And before I get started with these couple of WebBot hits, I want to whistle you a little tune. It's from a movie. I want to say 90s. A little hint. It's about freedom. A very good movie. And I just want to know. If you know it, say it in the comment section. I got to know which peeps know these awesome movies and stuff. Here we go. Chasing It for Bring Back the 1970 show. Name that tune. So anyways, let's get on with this little WebBot dealio, shall we? All right, so I've been hearing 2 or 3 or so instances now of snow. Like, not necessarily blizzard per se, but, you know, a pretty good amount of snow in places where it shouldn't be snowing right now. And I've been getting emails, hey, Jay Snip, man, remember the WebBot thing? It said that we'd have this right as we get into summer and stuff. We'd start seeing snow when there shouldn't be any more snow. Yeah, and I saw them. I didn't do a video yet. Then some more came in, and then some other stuff came in. I'm like, you know, I think it's time. And there was also, which I did not include in here, some major flooding. I think it was somewhere in Tennessee. Someone sent me that. Yeah, people had to be rescued and whatever. But again, I'm not going to include that in this. I didn't. But the 2 things I'm going to talk about these are both in the March 2017 WebBot report, Alta report, WebBot summary, etc. I say summary because it's the summary that I did, but not necessarily the summary. It's in the WebBot report, period. So whether you bought a WebBot report yourself and found it and read it, or you listen to me do the summary, what I'm about to talk to you about, I know I included in the summary that I did. So someone commented, a couple of Alta reports ago, the WebBot said for Australia Pop that conspiracy, corruption, and fraud would surface within the Australian government. Check out the news. The Deputy Commissioner of the Australian Tax Office was just charged with fraud-related offences after 2 of his children were brought down in a $165 million tax fraud, so it's not tiny, which this guy was also heavily involved in. I've also recently heard some other things that, again, someone sent me some stuff on Australia days and days ago, and I was like, well, it's just one little thing. Yes, it's tied into the fraud and corruption part, but I don't know if I want to do a whole, video to say, oh, one little thing happened, So I saved it, but I didn't do it, and I didn't actually save it, but it reminded me right now that it did happen, and it was not this, it was something else. But this is kind of a big one, so that's why I use this one. So here's what the Australia Pop part of the WebBot report said. What is up with Australia Pop? Yet more data sets for yet more political bribery scandals are showing up as frying careers and opening jails. This last seems to be a hint that there were amnesty irregularities that are going to surface in Australia Pop media before the end of July. These corruption scandal sets are gaining new supporting descriptors that include hidden property purchases, which I believe the other stuff I was talking about that I said I didn't include in here was actually property real estate related. Now that I see that, which makes me wish I still had it to show you. But nonetheless, whatever. So descriptors that include hidden property purchases and bribes from government officialdom. The last is referencing Australia Pop government workers being bribed by officialdom both from Australia and elsewhere. The data sets are suggesting that the scandal part of the language soon to come out will also be prying civil servants from their positions of power. I think what I just described to you that the person sent me for news fits that pretty good. Many more sets for very large scale political upsets and politics in disarray. These sets have the disarray in politics to be tightly bound to Britain. It appears that a document which will be mysteriously located in Britain will be pivotal in turning out the government over latter half of 2017. Data now accruing are suggesting, or data sets now accruing are suggesting that in spite of the crumbling confidence in government, the Australia pop dollar will be rising against both the US dollar and the RMB. These sets suggest that this is part of a larger trend to be impacting USA dollar over the last half of the year. The ramifications for Australia pop are suggested to be good, though the rising value of the Australian dollar is indicated to bring grief to both the local housing market and importers of Commonwealth goods. So I meant to do this earlier, and I forgot, so I can include it in this email, so I'll just do it now. USD Australian dollar. I want to see if I want live rates. Let me pause this for 1 second. All right, so what I was going to do is I was going to look up US dollar versus Australian dollar to see if we have any movements yet. And I was talking about the second half of the year. But again, just reading it, I thought, well, let me go check just out of curiosity. And over the last month, it's actually started creeping up, the Australian dollar versus ours. As you know, just very recently, ours has been going down. Matter of fact, since May 11th, the special date that the one guy, Sandy Jadeha, gave, dollar's actually been in a downtrend, which, of course, if our dollar goes down, then the Australian dollar is going to go up, and so are other currencies against ours. But it's not enough to say, oh, look, it already happened. No, it's not. So I'm not even going to bother. That's why I wanted to look to make sure. So we have the next piece. Someone said, shocking incidents with ice and snow in spring in the Northern Hemisphere, which he's reading part of it, are to be part of a large reconsideration of the global warming claims by some of the very powerful social influencers. So he says, I live in Ogden, northern Utah, and we have had extremely unseasonal weather lately. An inch of snow on my car yesterday, 6 to 12 inches of snow in the mountains, tons of rain, strange cloud formations, and it seems it reverted back to winter. Temperatures, are in the 30s again. Thanks for all your work. So I went quickly to try to find out, is there anything, other stories, and I know there have been because people have actually been emailing me some interesting snow stories when there shouldn't be snow. One recently that someone sent me was up in the Northeast, but I didn't. Again, I'm not going to do a web hit on one little thing. You know, I'm going to get a few things. So I found very quickly, searching news sites, articles and stuff about some odd snow weather right now that shouldn't be here. Check out the rare blackberry winter snow that surprised Appalachia over the weekend. Known locally as a blackberry winter, the rare late spring snowstorm surprised many in an area that just days before was basking in sweet southern sunshine and blackberry blossoms. 6 inches fell on the summit of Mount LeConte, Tennessee, making it the second snowiest day in May on record here or there. Okay, second one ever. Snowiest day in May ever. Because again, there's going to be people who say, well, the webbot could just pick some days and random stuff and get it right. And you think it happened to get something that's only happened one time before in the history of the state of Tennessee or in that area, whatever, and it happened to get it right now? I don't think so. Weather. So I just grabbed some headlines. Weather blog posted 4 days ago. Snow returns to southern Idaho. So we have Tennessee. We have Utah, Idaho. Snow returns to southern Idaho for rare May winter storm. Next one, rare May snowstorm prompts Colorado shelters to open. Posted 20 hours ago. Huh. How many states is that now? What to expect with our rare winter storm in May, which I'm not sure what area they're talking on that one, posted 2 days ago. So now I'm going to read you what the webbot talked about in regards to this type of stuff happening soon as we get into summer, whatever. Your planet changes faster, yet more signs of rampaging climate change are forecast as coming along to upend the last of the warmest claims. These sets are suggesting that shocking incidents with ice and snow in spring in the Northern Hemisphere are to be part of a large reconsideration of the global warming claims by some very powerful social influencers. These social influencers are being described as blockages that will be removed in the logic of the climate change into ice age. These sets have global warmists coming under attack at several levels, Perhaps the most shocking is forecast to include physical attacks on famous warmist faces and in public and caught on media. These sets are showing that young people will be outraged at the lies sold to them as accurate climate projections. I could see Bill Nye the Science Guy getting punched in the face. That wouldn't bother me too much. Anyways, and will react badly over this year as they encounter famous lying faces out and about in public. The data has physical assaults taking place at restaurants and speeches. We also have indications that flying food will be involved. These out-of-season conditions are also forecast as exciting commentary and debate that are forecast to be continuing for at least the next year at a fairly steady pace. The debate sets have the warmists becoming violent in several public meetings that will then go viral as videos. These are forecasts for the mid-summer Northern Hemisphere period, during which several out-of-season weather events will also be coincident with the public fights over warming. The data sets are forecasting that media will have a good day with the juxtaposition of the fist fights defending warming paradigm during summer freezes. The data sets have the warmist paradigm being swept into the dustbin of history by mid-2018. These sets these sets also bring in continuing growth for revealing of the Ice Age. The revealing language is specifically centered on the projections and the mathematics, including formula. Note that we get language about the formula, not the actual equations themselves. These sets have some projections to be discussed that will be focusing around the decade of the 2050s as being pivotal, but also that the smallest Ice Age effect is to be tossed out as about 250 years in duration. There was actually a bit more in this report, as many of you know, because I did the summary. I just grabbed a few things. I don't want to talk forever reading Webbot stuff that I've already read. I just want to show you, again, from time to time, man, this thing can make some pretty accurate predictions. In case you haven't noticed, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, Ripple coin, all of them, Ethereum are doing great. Ethereum was up 8 to 10% during the day I saw 2 days ago, then which would be Thursday. Friday, it was up 20%. Ethereum alone. None of the other coins were even close to that kind of percentage. Not that it matters, because they seem to take turns, right? Which is why you should spread your love a little bit. A little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, maybe a little bit of Dash, etc. Again, if you had Ripple, you made out like a flipping bandit with Ripple coin. But again, it's a different story. So that's it for this video. Moving on to the next one.